Welcome back to another episode of Warren Cali. In this episode, I'm going to detail the story of Kelly Jamerson from the Rollin 60 Crips. Kelly Jamerson was born on May 29, 1966. He would grow up on the east side of South Central, but later moved to the west side in a Rollin 60s turf. He would later become close friends with several people who were 60s and get put onto their set. He was close to people like Bubble Oak, C-Dog, and Snoop Dogg, and he would get the name Bo D. Kelly would be described as a reputable dude who was a diehard for his hood and his homies. On March 13, 1995, Death Row Records was hosting a private party in the Rey Theater after the Soul Train Music Awards. Kelly was invited. During the party, a big fight would break out, and Kelly would be involved in it. Several Pirus, who were allegedly in the inner circle with Suge Knight, were involved in this fight. Kelly was beaten with chairs and bottles and was stumped on, and according to a witness, Suge Knight stood by, watching Kelly being beaten, and shouted out, "Y'all get that nigga." Kelly was attending the invitation-only party sponsored by Death Row Records, and rappers were performing before a large crowd. At this time, Death Row Records, who was mostly Compton Pirus, were feuding with a lot of Compton Crips, and rappers DJ Quick, who was a Treetop Piru, and rapper MC8, who was a Compton Track New Park Crip, were locked in a rap beef, and it would get taken to the streets. Members of MC8's crew went to the party and began to bang on DJ Quick, and a fight ensued. A commotion started on the dance floor of the theater, and people began to scatter. Los Angeles police said words were exchanged between some men in the crowd, and it was up after that. This event happened almost 30 years ago, so there's many different accounts of how Kelly came into this incident. One theory is that Kelly came with MC8 crew and got into a fight being with his crew, and another theory was that Kelly seen Crips getting jumped by Pirus, so he jumped in to help. When Kelly jumped in, many of the people he helped fight for allegedly ran off, leaving him to take the blows, with him being greatly outnumbered. It was said at least 8 to 10 people stumped Kelly out, who tried a few times to stand up and reach the entrance of the theater. During the beating, chairs were thrown at him, he was stabbed, dragged, and also stumped out. Kelly was bleeding bad and scrambled to reach the front door before he collapsed. There were so many people stumping and hitting him that no one would help, said a person who witnessed some of the beating. She refused to give her name. She said she saw his body laying close to the front door of the theater. Kelly was later taken to a hospital where he was put on life support, and he died the following day on March 14th. Representatives for Death Row Records said the incident was not related to any artist signed to the record label. Media representatives for Death Row would say, "We want to send our condolences to the family, but Mr. Jamerson was not on any guest list." Family members said that Kelly had been invited to a party by a friend, and he definitely was on the guest list though, and he was a friend of the DJ who was playing records at the party. DJ Quick would later address the situation several years later on a song called "I'm a Gangster." Quick would say, "I used to have beef with this cat named 8, and his homies approached me at Club El Rey. What was I to do? I'm on stage doing my thing, and this dude in the crowd trying to who bang, giving up for his homies and set tripping, but he wasn't from 60s, more like Track New." DJ Quick would continue addressing the fight and his side of the story. He will also address how people put rumors on him, how he got somebody killed. At the end of the song, Quick says this is also a dedication to the little homie from 60s that lost his life at that party. Rest in peace. But Quick was said to have took part in that fight.
When it broke out fast. DJ Quick started throwing shit. All the homies start fighting different individuals. Now you hear cats throwing up and saying they hoods. So all the homies doing shit. So it went haywire.
And then somebody from MC8's side ends up getting killed.
The 60 guy.
Yeah, the Rollin 60s.
Right.
Who was...
So
yeah.
Where the entrance was, he was like damn near where the door was at, and he was just laying there.
MC8 will also address the situation and admit that Kelly was his friend, and the situation stemmed over DJ Quick getting into an altercation with one of his people.
Wasn't there.
You weren't there. You know what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah, definitely. Quick had a show.
Quick had a show.
At the El Rey. A lot of that, though, was from our situation stemmed from a lot from just gang. They were Crips, they were Bloods. That shit had been going on in the city from who knows when. It didn't even have to be a rap song out, you feel me? And if Crips is somewhere where Bloods are affiliating or vice versa, you probably have a situation.
Suge Knight would get himself and Death Row Records out of the Kelly Jamerson death situation, like he did with many other situations he was involved in, and that's with money. Suge Knight and Death Row Records would later settle out of court with Kelly Jamerson's family. Kelly was 28 and left behind 2 kids and a wife. His death would be followed by several other events that got death row to fall in shambles along the years. This will conclude this episode. If you haven't already, check out my previous episodes. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.